Good morning, my sweet tortured souls. Oh, wrong intro. But funny that I should say that because it leads me on to a little story. I'm at work yesterday, cleaning as I do, listening to the latest episode of Higgis, Honey Geeky Showing, Moms in Movies, which I'll come back to later, when all of a sudden a tune is planted in my head. I can't remember for the life of me how it came about, but it is one of the most irritating earworms and stupid ditties that I've ever heard, and it's all the more irritating because I remember actually buying this record in, it would have been about 1975-76. I don't think I've played it in 50 years, for the very reason that I'm talking about it now. As if it isn't bad enough having to stick my hand down shitty carses that some fucking area-arse pick has just shat down, I have to have this tune planted in my head for the reason I cannot remember how it came about. So what I'd like to do is start today with a little reply to that, to Callie and Guy. This little song is dedicated to you. Just pull my cup down. Mana, you pair of bastards. Mana, you pair of cunts. Mana, you pair of arseholes, you dickheads, for planting this goddamn song in my head. I thank you. That's it. I shan't mention it again, but I shall look forward to the next fucking earworm that you decide to plant on me while I'm cleaning. It was such a nice episode up until then. Oh my god. I don't even know where to start now. Let me go with let's see. Oh, glad you all enjoyed the blooper reel, by the way. It was I'd had them clogging up my system for a few weeks, and I was just about to delete them, and I thought, you know what, cobble them all together and stick them on, give them a laugh on Sunday morning, and it seemed to go down quite well. So any bloopers that occur now, I will keep them to one side and sort of put them on as a collection at some point. So I'm glad you all enjoyed that, and thanks for all the comments, really do appreciate that. So right, apologies for the sweary intro, guys, but that had to be done. Because one thing you have to do, as Callie's always saying, don't be be twisted or something like that. So I thought I'd be twisted for a few minutes. So there you go. Right, I'll start with comments on last week's video. We'll clean it up a bit now. I shall leave off the effing and jeffing for the moment. Jason K, our Ginger Ninja, welcome to the party, Night Owl Movie Talk. That's obviously aimed at one of the guys that subscribed to the channel. I think it was last week or the week before. My Saturdays at work are filled with Night Owl in the morning and Tony in the Arvo. The Arvo. How Australian is that? Hope you got a kick out of One Night Rental. I certainly did, and Rick was good in it. He was bloody brilliant in it. I'll be coming back to that in a bit, and what I'm going to do, I think, is a little standalone video review of One Night Rental that I can stick on YouTube, just basically to see how many hits it gets. Because as I said the other week, I'm not sure what the hit rate on these is at the moment. It was sort of in the 50s or 60s. But one of my older videos, and somebody at work pointed this out to me, and I checked it out, the Kes review that I did, it must have been 2 years, it might have been more. I think it only lasted about 5 or 6 sort of minutes, but the hit rate was 900 and something, and I thought, bloody hell. So I'm going to start doing little 5-minute reviews in the sort of the style that JK does it. You know, he does his 1-minute reviews. I'm going to do sort of a 5-6 minute one. They don't have to be long, just basically telling everybody how good or how bad a movie is, just to see what I can do with hit rates on that one. So yeah, Rick was brilliant in it. Yes, Killdozer. I remember seeing this decades ago on TV late at night, The Killer Bulldozer. I have that added to my list of trashy Tuesday movies I will be looking at. I can't wait to hear what you think of that. I really can't. Eventually, you put. If you want killer cars, you can't go past Maximum Overdrive. Great film. It's one that's not considered a great film by a lot of people. I remember seeing it a long, long time ago. I believe it was on the shelf at the video shop when I worked there, and I did watch it one night, and I quite enjoyed it. I thought it was all right. But whereas a lot of movies gain a kind of a cult following and people appreciate them more sort of over the years and as decades passed, I don't think time has been kind to this one, which is a shame. I do need to take another look at it because it's been a while, I mean decades since I saw that one. If you want some trash films, anything from Wild Eye Releasing with Mark Polonia or Jeff Kirkendall attached, all I can say is good luck. I'm going to be looking them up because you know the kind of movies that I get a kick out of. Apart from obviously the blockbusters and the dramas and the comedies, I do like the odd completely trashy rubbish crap film. So I'll be taking a look at the work of Mr. Polonia and Mr. Kirkendall. I shall look them up on Google and see what they've see what they've got for me. Great vid as always. Take care. Thanks, Jace. Much appreciated, mate. Steve Mack, our Criterion guy, as well as the Purge movies. There's a 2-season series. I didn't know that. First series covers one Purge night, and the second covers a year. I enjoyed both and the films. Yeah, I get the feeling I'd need to watch the movies before I tackle the TV series, but it's an idea at that. As I said last week, I did work with a guy who swore by the Purge movies. He loved them, all of them, and he was constantly trying to get me to watch them, but I never did. So I'll be taking that under advisement, Steve. Appreciate that. Dave Taylor, Tony Time with a Brew. Good vid as usual. Cheers, Dave. Much appreciated. Just watched The Pope's Exorcist. This is a couple of messages that he sent me sort of throughout the week. Just watched The Pope's Exorcist as a standalone. I thought it was okay. Russell Crowe was on decent form. Would I watch it again? Probably not. I've not seen The Pope's Exorcist yet. Is this the one where he's riding around on a moped? Like a Vespa. Priest on a Vespa. That's got to be worth watching it just on its own. It is one I want to watch. It's a fairly decent budget movie with Russell Crowe in it, so it's going to be watchable. So I will take a look at it. Also watched The Deep. Not seen it for decades. Loved it. I love The Deep. Again, I've not seen it for a while. I've got a Blu-ray copy which I'm going to dig out and take a look at some point very, very soon. There is a director's cut out there. I don't know whether anybody's actually sort of released it or not, with about 30 minutes, maybe even more, additional footage that was cut from the original release, basically for time constraints. I would love to see the complete unedited version of this, which I believe runs for close to 3 hours. That would definitely be worth a look. So I'm kind of looking forward to somebody releasing that. The perfect time to do it would be in about 3 years, because the film hits 50 years old. And we do know how these companies love their 50th anniversary editions. So that would be the perfect time to track down all of the additional footage and put it into the movie and release a complete and unedited version along with a load of extras. So yeah, I would like to take a look at The Deep again, Dave. It's a cracking movie. I think everybody at the time thought it was going to be another version of Jaws, and it was absolutely completely different. It was an adventure movie to do with treasure hunters. Robert Shaw was in it, Nick Nolte, Jacqueline Bisset, Louis Gossett Jr. It had quite the cast, and it was a cracking adventure movie, really, really good. So yes, I will be taking a look at that again. Guy, cheers for that, Dave, by the way. Guy, Tony Time, the best in Hangover TV. I'm glad I served some purpose, Guy, apart from singing obscene songs at you. Glad you enjoyed Wheezing Groaning Sound. Told you it was great. I enjoyed the episode that I listened to. I can't for the life of me remember which story it was to do with. It was one of the latest ones anyway, but what I tend to do with a lot of these podcasts, once I've enjoyed one episode, I will go right back to the beginning and start with the first one and work my way through, because I don't think any of them are sort of time sensitive. It's not as if I'm going to be sort of watching stuff and not realising what anybody's on about because it was mentioned in a sort of an episode before. That doesn't bother me. I'd rather go back to the beginning, as with series, and just go through the whole thing. So yeah, I did enjoy the episode that I listened to. Winehouse biopic. Always a quote from me. I'm not a fan, but Rob is. I had a feeling you'd throw that one at me. Yeah, it's called Compromise. I know. Rob's taste in movies is very, very different to mine. He did say to me last week, I've got an idea for Saturday night to watch. And I says, what? He says, that one that's just won all the Oscars. I says, which one? He says, the one about the scientist. I says, not Oppenheimer. He said, yeah, that one I got you for Christmas. Oh, God. I said, are you sure? It's like 3 hours long. He's not got the most... he's not got the most brilliant attention span as far as really long movies go. I think after the 2 hour mark, we're sort of going, is there much more of this? What he does. So I said, well, yeah, if you're absolutely sure, I'll give it a go. Yeah, of course I will. I'm dying to see it. I just don't think it's your cup of tea. But as it happens last night, I ended up watching One Night Rental. And then we ended up watching the first three, the last three episodes of Line of Duty, season 3. My God, that is addictive. I couldn't believe. I don't normally binge series, and I'll come on to this later as well because somebody else has come up with a comment on binging series. I don't normally do it, yeah. But occasionally one comes along when you get to the end and you think, let's just do one more. And before you know it, it's like, well, we're up to the last one. We might as well watch the last one now, see how it pans out. Before you know it, you've watched all 6. So I was up till nearly 1 o'clock this morning, which is unusual for me. So that's what we ended up watching last night, as opposed to Oppenheimer. And if I'm being honest, I'm probably going to try and put him off Oppenheimer because I don't think he's going to like it. Maybe I'm underestimating him, I don't know. But yes, it is called Compromise, Guy, you're quite right. Thanks for the Higgis, love. I'm glad that our blend of Violet's cool style and my talking shite and dodgy impressions make work go quick for you. Not that I'm on the next episode. I think you are, or are you? You were on it, I'm sure you were. You must have been because I was listening to you. So I don't know what that one's all about. Roadhouse remake. Fuck that shit. Yeah, the discussion on this is going to be raging because it lands on Prime, I believe. Well, by the time this is sort of landed on YouTube, it will have landed on Prime a couple of days ago. I don't know. I said last week I may give it a go just to see what it's like, but to be honest, I'm not holding out much hope. As far as I can tell, like I've said before, the only thing I can see that they're going to do is make it even more bone-crunchingly violent, and I don't really see the point in that. There was nothing wrong with the original movie. I wouldn't call myself a great fan of it, but I do like it, and whenever it's on, I'll always watch it, but I'll see. If you lot watch it and tell me how brilliant it is, I may give it a go, but I've got a fair idea what I'm going to be in for. As for Conor McGregor, can he act? I don't know. Let's find out, shall we? Region lock discs. Does your gadget to unlock them not work anymore? It doesn't work on Blu-rays. This is the thing. It has unlocked the region on DVD, so I can now play American DVDs on it, but Blu-ray there is no way to region hack any player as far as I know. And the problem is with using these sort of region hacks and gadgets, you do tend to void any warranty or guarantee that you've got on it. Not that it matters because I don't pay much attention to guarantees. If an item that I buy lasts 2-3 years, I'm happy with it, so I'm not bothered about that. But yeah, it will not unlock Blu-rays, and I don't have any Region 1 Blu-rays. What I have got is a small collection of Region 0 Blu-rays, which are USA released, but not region locked, and I tried one last night, which I'll be showing off a little bit later as part of another bit that I've got planned. I tried that, fully expecting it to come up as will not play in this region, in which case I'd have gone upstairs, looked out all of my Region 0 Blu-rays, and basically donated them to the charity shop or stuck them on eBay or something. But the one that I picked played perfectly, so I was quite happy with that. So it will play Region 0, or what they class as all region Blu-rays, but not Region 1 or Region A, as they call it now. So yeah, my gadget does work. I think you only have to use it once, but I'll keep it in the drawer in case. I think on the last one that I did it on, the last player, the region unlocked thing kept slipping away and I had to keep entering the code again. But this is just a gadget, like you say, you just point it at the thing, at the player, and press the button and it unlocks all the regions for you, but not Blu-ray, so you're quite right on that. So thanks for that, guy, much appreciated. Chris, oh, lovely to hear from you, mate. Pleasant wake up for me. Pleasant wake up watch for me. Thank you for that, sir. You're more than welcome, Chris. I'm definitely looking forward to your reviews on Rick's movie as well as Velocipasta. It's funny you should put One Night Rental in the same bracket as Velocipasta. I think it's fair to say, I mean, I'll come on to this later, but I did enjoy One Night Rental a lot. Velocipasta I haven't seen yet. But somebody else a little further down the list has asked me to take a look at it, so it is on the watch list, and it's quite high on it as well. It has been for quite a while. I watched The Revenant again last night. I can't remember if this is one you've seen. Looks beautiful on 4K. The story is one that gripped me. Leo puts on an incredible performance without saying much at all. Highly recommend if you haven't. I have seen it a long time ago. My enduring memory of The Revenant, apart from the bear attack, which was just horrifying, was the feeling of feeling fairly cold all the time. I remember watching it, it must have been last winter, and it was cold outside. Now, even though I got the gas fire on and it was quite warm in the room, just watching that movie, which was set, was it Alaska or something like that, but it was set in this permanent sort of snowy landscape, and I just felt chilly all the way through it. Uncomfortably so even, but the film itself is really good. Would I watch it again? Probably not. It was really good. I thought it was a little bit overblown, but that's just my opinion. I thought it was okay, but I probably wouldn't watch it again. Hence, I believe it was a Bin or Keep It quite a while ago, and I ended up sending that one to the RSPCA shop, so somebody else can feel cold with that one now. So I also have had a delivery, so a post is coming soon. Look forward to it. I always look forward to seeing what other people are buying and what they're investing in, so I'm really looking forward to that. I would also like to send you something, as it would be much better in your possession than mine, and then a review would be nice. Whatever it is, Chris, I sincerely thank you for it. I've sent you my address on Messenger, which I'm assuming you've got. I can't wait to see what this thing is. I will probably do an unwrapping of it when it arrives. If I can hold off my curiosity for long enough, I'll do it on next week's video. But it could be another little standalone one that I'll just post on Facebook. But whatever it is, Chris, I can't wait to see it, and I thank you sincerely for taking the trouble to look that out for me and pop it in the post. I do appreciate it, so I shall let you know when that arrives. So thank you very much for that, and great to hear from you. Mark, thank you for entertaining me for an hour, as always, on a Saturday morning. You're more than welcome, Mark. For the life of me, I still don't get what you lot find so fascinating about me sitting here with a brew just chatting bollocks for an hour about movies and people's comments and that, but I'm certainly glad that you do, because I love doing it, and I really do enjoy doing it. As you know, some mornings go better than others. Last week's, I thought, was one of my finest ones. I was quite pleased with the way that came out, and this one is shaping up to be quite good. Blowing my own trumpet a bit there, but it feels right some weekends, and some Sundays it feels like a real slog, like my head just isn't in it. But hopefully now I'll get more weekends like this than the bad ones. So yeah, I appreciate that, Mark. Thank you. I've got one more week at work, then I've got a fortnight off work when the wife fucks off to Ghana. I'm sure I could fit Close Encounters of the Third Kind in there at some point. I'm really curious to see what you're going to make of this. I thought Jason might go for it. His choice for this week, as Never Seen, is not so much an unusual one, but if he'd have told me that he was going to watch it, I'd have said straight away, "You're not going to like it. It's going to be too slow and too boring." How wrong could I be? We'll come back to that one in a bit as well. But yeah, if you watch Close Encounters, I'd be very, very curious to see what you make of it. You have to bear in mind that it's 50 years old, or nearly 50 years old. Um, that kind of a movie was very different back then to what you would get now. The modern day sort of equivalent of something like Close Encounters would be something along the lines of Contact with Jodie Foster, which I've never seen, but I know roughly what's involved in it. Something like Interstellar. If they made it today, it would be utterly confusing and probably not right. I did hear a rumor a long, long time ago that somebody was planning a remake of Close Encounters. Never ever would I be more convinced to not so much boycott a film but not watch a movie than that one. It was a product of its time, a bit like the other one that I daren't mention because every time I mention it people go, not that fucking film again. Bit like Saturday Night Fever, product of its time, couldn't make it nowadays with the values that that one had. Definitely not. It could be redone. Again, a rumour was going round, oh God, years ago, that Zac Efron, and this was in his days when I think he'd just come away from High School Musical. Zac Efron was going to play Tony Manero, and straight off I thought, what? No way. Now, maybe he could. He's a very different actor now. But obviously, again, it wouldn't be the same. You obviously wouldn't have the Bee Gees soundtrack, which is part of what made it. You definitely wouldn't have some of the story arcs in there, definitely not. But I'm diverse and I've forgotten what I was on about now. Close Encounters. Yeah, let me know what you think of it, Mark, if you do get a chance to watch it. It's about 2 hours and 10 minutes. So it's a fair old investment of time. But if you like sci-fi and you like 70s sci-fi, with a little sort of sprinkling of fact in there as well, I think you'll enjoy it. My prediction is... I don't know, because I got this completely wrong with Jason. My prediction is you'll think it's okay, but you wouldn't want to watch it again. That's my prediction, but I could be wrong. So let me know. Let's see, where are we? You're not alone with Mad Max. I've only ever seen the first one. Thought it was shit. Haven't bothered with any of the sequels, which you wouldn't do. If I had to pick a Mad Max film to watch, it would always be the first one, because obviously I remember seeing that 1979ish Burton Odeon, and that first 15 minutes, a bit like the beginning of Raiders of the Lost Ark, just blew me away. You just sit there and you think, where the hell can it possibly go from there? Really, really good. So yeah, I do kind of get that. I mean, do you like other sort of dystopian future type movies? Because there have been quite a few over the years, and I've got a little something over here to show off a bit later that might demonstrate that. Let's see, a review on Velocipaster needs to happen, even if you just stream the film rather than actually buy the Blu-ray. I've not bought the Blu-ray, and between you and me, I downloaded it, so I've got a copy of it. But keep that quiet, don't tell anybody. So yes, you will be getting a review on Velocipaster very, very shortly, especially now you're the second one that's asked me to do that, and there's somebody at work that I think would want me to watch it and take a look, so I will be coming on to that one very, very shortly to let you know. Jason P. Jason, morning Jace, brilliant video as always. Thanks Jace, really appreciate that. Biopics. I went to see The Doors at Burton Odeon. Fucking hell, it made me feel stoned myself. I can't. It did rather. Jim Morrison was pretty much very well all the way through the film. He was either drunk or stoned. Great movie, but I think they were putting wacky backy through the air vents so everybody got the full effect. It would not surprise me. One biopic that did surprise me was the Whitney Houston one. Really enjoyed that. I enjoyed that one way more than I thought I would. Rob's really more of a fan of Whitney Houston than I am, but he wanted to watch it, so I thought, yeah, compromise guy, yeah, compromise. So I said, yeah, go on, then we'll have a watch of that. And I really, really enjoyed it. I was surprised to find out a few things about her, if it was historically accurate. Apparently it wasn't Bobby Brown that got her into drugs. She pretty much did it all by herself. So yeah, I did enjoy that one, and I'm looking forward to seeing the Winehouse one, the Bob Marley one, and definitely the Bee Gees one that Ridley Scott has taken on. I can't wait for that one. I think we're probably a couple of years away from that, but I definitely will be watching that. Wonka, I know you will love. Olivia Colman is just brilliant in it too. I love Olivia Colman. I can't wait to see Wicked Little Letters, which I posted the trailer for a couple of weeks ago. I think I posted it before that as well. Looks an awesome film. Olivia Colman is just lovely. Not very often I say this, and I love Gene Wilder's version, but I'd love to see this guy's take on Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, because I believe Wonka is a prequel, isn't it? Never heard of the guy playing Wonka before, but he was brilliant. You've never heard of Timothy Chalamet? I don't think I've seen him in anything. I know he's in a movie called Call Me By Your Name, which I've got upstairs somewhere. I know he's in the new version of Dune, Dune 1 and 2. I think he's made quite a few movies, Jace. I haven't seen many of them, if any of them. But yeah, he's fairly called, sort of well known in the in sort of the Hollywood circle. Queues around the block at Burton Odeon. Seen it only 3 times. Terminator 2, Silence of the Lambs, and Ghost. I wasn't even seeing bloody Ghost, as I'd seen it the week before. We were going to see Heart Condition with Bob Hoskins. I've heard of that, but I've never seen it. I always got to the cinema early, as I have no patience for queues. Me neither. I hated it. But when you look at it, I suppose it's part of it. It's the anticipation that you're waiting to get in there to see this thing that you've been looking forward to for months. And obviously back then we didn't have trailers online. All we got was sort of a 30-second teaser trailer on TV, or you got your magazines with the poster in with interviews with the stars. We didn't have the internet, obviously, back then. So the anticipation for these things was just incredible. And I think the queues were part of the fun of that. But they were a pain in the arse at the time, I remember. Never seen. This is your thread. I just had to watch Close Encounters. I didn't know if I was going to think differently or not. Yeah, your opinion is very well known and has been noted on Close Encounters. Like I said to Mark, it's not everybody's thing, and it isn't. I have very fond memories of it for obvious reasons. But do you know what? That was the first. That movie actually encouraged me to get my very first telescope. I haven't got one now, but I bought a telescope, and I used to stick it up in my dad's shed and play the soundtrack to Close Encounters whilst sky watching. How sad is that? These are the things you do when you're 16, 17. But yeah, Close Encounters was what persuaded me to buy a telescope and start, as the watchword was, watch the skies across the poster. And that's exactly what I did with the soundtrack to the movie in the background. Happy days. So let's see. I have about 6 films in the can now for never seen, and they're all so bloody random. But I always make sure they are well-known titles and not some straight-to-video movie. Now, you're not seeing this week is The French Connection, and that's what surprised me. You put not a bad film for the age, really. I wouldn't watch it again, but I will watch the sequel. I haven't seen the sequel, but I have got the original on Blu-ray, which I will be watching at some point soon. I have seen it, which is what made me say, as soon as I saw The French Connection, I thought, oh, dare I even look at this, because he's not going to like this, it's going to be too slow and boring. But yet again, you throw me a curveball. You love doing that, don't you? Mark, you said nope, so you've obviously either never heard of it or never seen it. And Jason, you replied, I was also a nope until a few weeks ago. Like I say, I wouldn't have thought it was your kind of film, so I am absolutely looking forward to next week's choice. And what I love about this, and I hope it carries on and on and on, because I really love this, it's just the diverse sort of mixture of movies that you're picking. It's something different every week, and I love it. And I love Saturday when I look there and think, oh, here we go. So, P.S. Glad to see you feeling a bit better in yourself, mate. Thanks, Jace. Really appreciate that. I'm certainly a lot better than I was. Things are now slowly starting to come together, and as you say, I'm just feeling better generally. So yeah, thanks for that, mate. Really appreciate that. Right, time for a quick break. I'll be back in a sec. And we're back. Right, before I go any further, I'll just address a point that came up a little bit earlier. I was talking about a movie, Velocipasta, which I haven't got. The Blu-ray is outrageously expensive. So as I said to Mark, I've downloaded it. I've downloaded it. I saw a comment on a group sometime last week. Can't remember which group it was, but there was basically somebody saying that they downloaded some movie or other, and he was attacked from all sides by bleeding heart liberals who basically say that you're destroying the film industry. Oh, fuck off. Do you know what? I used to download all the time, and I probably shouldn't be saying this. I used to download all the time. I don't do it now, hardly ever. The only time I ever do it is if I can't find the Blu-ray, or if the Blu-ray is stupidly expensive, or if it's just not available. I.e., a lot of the movies that Jason Kerr, Ginger Ninja, talks about on his Trashy Tuesday. There's a movie called Night Beast. It's just been released by a company called Vinegar Syndrome in America. Obviously, it's region locked, so it's absolutely of no use to me. It is highly unlikely that this will ever get a UK release. So the only way to see it is either to watch it on YouTube, which to me is no different from downloading it, or downloading a Blu-ray copy of it. As I say, I do not do it very often. I don't massively approve of it, but if needs be, if I want to see something badly enough, and it is usually one of these sort of low budget horror films or something like that. The blockbusters I don't bother with anymore. I would much rather buy the Blu-ray or the 4K, or wait for it to stream, which is usually within weeks of the cinema release. So there is absolutely not any real need to download movies anymore. But if there's one thing that pisses me off more than anything, it's these bloody bleeding heart fucking arseholes who come on and basically say you're destroying the film industry. Yes, I really do feel so sorry for these people that are making more money in a week than I will see in a year or 2 years or whatever. So no, I don't feel sorry for them, not in that sense. That's probably going to be a very unpopular opinion with some, but that's just how I feel about it. Like I say, I will only ever download if it's absolutely the only way to see something. And a lot of these movies, like the movies released by these sort of boutique labels like Vinegar Syndrome, Shout Factory and stuff like that, they're all region locked. They're of absolutely no use to the UK. And you look at them and you think, when are we ever going to see a release of that ever in the UK? So the only way to do it is to do it that way. So no, it isn't something I do very often at all. But it does happen occasionally, so I just thought I'd put that one straight. Dave Oliver, you put a video on about the Batman. Let me just readjust this thing because I'm right on the right side. There we go. You put a video on about the Batman being delayed. Oh, it's not just a delay, it's nearly 3 years, for Christ's sakes. Are we even going to be remotely interested by the time it actually comes out? I did enjoy the first one. I thought it was really good despite the running time, which was near enough 3 hours. And I thought Robert Pattinson was superb in it. If they'd have said, who would you cast as Batman, he's probably one of the last people I'd have thought of. But he did a cracking job. And I was looking forward to the Batman, but I think I'm just going to forget about it now. I'll have forgotten about it anyway in about a year, but 3 years down the line. So yeah, I do kind of get it. It's not the best at all. Higgis, Moms in Movies. Did I not comment on the last video? I thought I did. I wonder if it's one of these where I commented and just forgot to hit the send button or something, so I do apologise about that. I'll make sure I comment on the one that I watched yesterday. I haven't done it yet. The Queen of Mean loves the Care Bears. Really? I was really surprised by that, I must admit. It was just not what I was expecting to hear, but hats off to you. So, where are we? That toy shop on Turmo place looks absolutely amazing, by the way. As I say, I've said before, I'm not really into the action figures kind of thing, but it looked like paradise to you. But that Transformers figure, £800? Seriously? God, I'd be frightened to death to take it out of the box for fear of damaging it. or the box for that matter, at that price. And you also mentioned one that was something like 1,600 quid. Who on earth walks into a shop like that and says, I'll take that, and then pays for, wow. So I was quite surprised about that. Love the Elvira figure, by the way. That is cracking. Great fan of Elvira. Love Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, the first movie. Not so much Haunted Hills. It wasn't bad, but if you gave me a choice of the two, I'd watch Mistress of the Dark. And I've seen a lot of her intros to the movies that she introduces. I think she did a season on Prime at one time, and I loved it. Absolutely loved it. So yeah, big Elvira fan. I actually bought a massive poster, which I think I showed off ages ago, and I've got to get it up somewhere behind me or somewhere in here because it looks amazing. I can't even remember where it is. It's in here somewhere. But yeah, massive Elvira fan. And you are so right about life getting in the way of watching movies. I thought, oh, this is going to sound so cold, and I don't mean it to, but I thought that when I lost my mum, I would get more chance of. Obviously, you get part of your life back, and I've now got sort of a 3 hour gap in my day, which I thought I was going to fill with watching movies, but it hasn't really worked out that way, and I can't put my finger on why it hasn't worked out that way. But I'm not finding that much more time yet to watch more movies, but I will get there. So I do get it that you form all these plans. I mean, I was going to do a little section where I pick 5 movies for the week and I'll watch them all and I'll talk about them all the following weekend, but it just hasn't happened yet. But bear with me, folks, it will come. But yeah, I do get it, Callie. You have all these grand plans of what you're going to watch and how many series you're going to get through. Yeah, so I do completely get that. And as for binging series, I am a great fan of watching one a week. I know I completely contradict myself because we watched the Line of Duty last night. We watched the last 3 episodes, and one of them, the final episode, was 90 minutes, so it was kind of 3.5 hours. Personally, I would have preferred to watch them one a week or even one a night. But as I said earlier, and you'll know this, you'll get to the end of an episode and you think, oh, you can't leave it like that. We've got to watch the next one. And before you know it, you've watched the lot. But given the choice, Talking Pictures TV do this, and I love it. They put one episode of a classic series on once a week, as opposed to putting one episode on a day, or sometimes some channels put 3 episodes on a day. And you try to sort of record them all, and you end up clogging up your hard drive with like one series. So yeah, I much prefer the system of watching one episode of a series a week. So yeah, binging isn't really for me. It does happen occasionally, but not very often. That scene, I don't know what it is, and I can't imagine what it is, but I'm fairly sure that I've not hit that point yet. I'm still about 10 hours from the end, but I will be looking out for it. I'll be very curious to know whether it's been cut from the audiobook version, if it is as bad, or if it alludes to what I think you're alluding to. I wouldn't be at all surprised if they've cut it, but we'll see, especially the way things are today. But I'll let you know the more I get through it. I'm very curious to get to the point, just to find out what it is, basically. Moms in Movies, cracking episode, really enjoyed it. Some good choices there as well. What we got, Ellen Ripley. I did not know, and just for those of you that haven't seen that episode, there is a scene in Aliens, the sequel to Alien, the James Cameron movie, 1986, where they show Ellen Ripley a picture of her daughter as an old lady, and the picture of the old lady is actually Sigourney Weaver's mum. I did not know that. That's an amazing piece of trivia that I'd not fallen across before. So that was a good one. Ellen Ripley. Sarah Connor, loved Terminator 1, adored Terminator 2, haven't seen any of the others, so I can't comment on those. And I believe wasn't there a series called the Sarah Chronicle? Sarah Chronicle. The fuck. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Start again. Wasn't there a series called the Sarah Connor Chronicles? Haven't seen that either, for what it's worth. Pamela Voorhees, brilliant choice. Love the Friday the 13th movies. I know she was only in the first two, but what a performance by Betsy Palmer. Absolutely loved it. There are a couple of sort of interviews nowadays with her on the Crystal Lake Memories DVD, Blu-ray. She's an amazing lady, absolutely amazing. Did you say that she took that part to buy a car, to pay for a car? So yeah, and I'm loving the constant shout outs, by the way. It seems like 3 times in the episode, I think yesterday, you come to me, and one of them was that goddamned annoying tune. Bloody earworm. But cracking episode, guys, really enjoyed it. Looking forward to finding out what next week's is. Jason Kerr. I still haven't watched your Neon Maniacs review. I need to take that one in because I really, really want to watch the movie. Trashy Tuesday, The Stuff. Loved it. Absolutely loved that film. Obviously, very reminiscent of The Blob, both versions. But I thought The Stuff was great fun. Jason, you said, I've seen this probably about 1987. I also had the poster from a video shop too. I wonder if that would be worth out now. I bet it bloody would, you know. I remember somebody came to me at work ages ago saying that their son or daughter at junior school was doing something to do with the 70s, and had I got anything 70s related that I could sort of give them, it was some sort of collage or something like that. And like a bloody idiot, I bought in the original poster for Saturday Night Fever with the X certificate underneath it. It was an original. It wasn't in the most sort of pristine condition, but I took it in, and they said, you want it back? And back then, you didn't think about the value of things. I said, no, you're all right, you can keep it if you want it. One of the worst decisions I ever made. I would love to get hold of that poster again, but I bet it's worth an absolute frigging fortune now. But yeah, these original movie posters, the 70s and 60s ones are worth hundreds, sometimes thousands. So if you've got any, hold on to them. Guy, you said trash to piece. Trash to piece? Love that. Obviously calling the stuff a masterpiece, but he's classing it as a trash to piece. Sorry. That's not making any sense at all. Loved your latest Blu-ray haul, by the way, Jay. Never heard of Body Parts. The Stuff, obviously, loved it. Society, weird movie, weird ass movie, really good though. Creepshow 2, not sure it's my favourite of the two. I think I prefer the original, but I did enjoy Creepshow 2. Loved the story about the wooden Indian, or wooden head or something like that. Really enjoyed that. The Zero Boys, I think I saw this many years ago. Really enjoyed it, but I haven't seen it for quite a while. The Burning, classic. Phenomena, I think I saw this first when it was, I think it was referred to as Creepers back then. I have actually got it on Blu-ray upstairs, but I've not watched it yet. Beyond Reanimator and Bride of Reanimator. I've not seen either of the sequels, only seen the first one. I remember it being outrageously gory, very sort of Evil Deadish. So yeah, a great collection there, mate. Looking forward to your next Franchise Friday, by the way. I've not been a great fan of the Resident Evil ones because I've not seen any of the movies and they don't interest me because they're based on computer games. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what you go for next. So yeah, looking forward to that. The Crow trailer for the remake dropped this week. I haven't seen the original. Sorry, Callie, I know it's one of your favourite movies and probably Guy as well. I've never seen it. Always meant to have a look at it. And this trailer landed. Now, it's had mixed reactions. I've not got notes here on this one. Dave Oliver, you did a trailer reaction, and Jason, the Ginger Ninja, he did a trailer reaction as well. You both seemed a little unsure about it. I watched it, and all I could think of, Christ almighty, that looks fucking brutal. And it did, it looked really nasty. So whether it's the kind of film I would watch anyway, I don't know. I get the feeling I would prefer the original, because I don't think I'd get very far with the new one, looking at what sort of what was in the trailer. Jason P. You put, I do like the original, but this looks good. I mean, all you Crow fans out there, because I know a lot of people have seen this, watching the trailer, is this the movie that you'd hoped you were going to get when you first heard that they were remaking it? Because I know a lot of sort of traditionalists will turn around and say, nope, nope, not going to watch it. It's going to be crap. It's going to be nothing like the original. So I'm really curious to know whether you fans of the original movie are looking forward to this. And does it look like the kind of movie that you were hoping it was going to be? To me, it just looks as brutal as hell. But if you attach a Skarsgård actor to a movie, you know it's going to be at least watchable. I know he did a fine job on the movie versions of it. Whether that was it Alexander Scott? There's two, isn't there? There's two brothers, Bill and Alexander. And I know one of them apparently did a brilliant interpretation of Pennywise in it, which I've not seen yet because I want to finish the book first. So yeah, it looks like it's going to be a good movie, just probably not for me. But I'd be curious to know what you make of that one. Let me just scroll down here. Loved your Criterion special, Steve. Steve Mack, our Criterion guy. Loved the movie special that you did. I was going to read out all the titles, but there isn't one that I can think of that I wouldn't want to watch, which is why I asked whether all those movies were on the movie channel, because if so, that could tip me very nicely over the edge to subscribing to that, because there were some cracking titles in there. The only two I've got, and I didn't realise these were movie titles until I saw them on your thing, and then obviously I look at the sleeve and I think, oh god, yeah. So, but the only two I've got, Matthias and Maxime, which you mentioned, and also Annette. I got this because somebody bought me the soundtrack for Christmas, and I thought the soundtrack was excellent, so I thought you really need to take the movie on. I understand it's a little bizarre, but sparks are involved, so it's going to be. So looking forward to having a watch of both of those, but really enjoyed that movie video, Steve. So I love these list videos that people do. So yeah, I look forward to the next one, whatever it is, seeing what else you've got in your collection. Let's see what else we've got here. Late Night with the Devil. This is the Ghostwatch style movie, the new version, or the new movie. Stephen King. He's tweeting a lot just recently. He tweeted, I was given a screener for Late Night with the Devil. Stephen King tweeted that he couldn't take his eyes off it and that it was brilliant. I thought it was damn good in parts. Any horror fan should see it, but it didn't quite stick the landing. It could have been so much more, but it fell short of its potential. That said, there were some damn great scenes. The actor who played the young girl was brilliantly creepy. I really wished they had used her more than they did. Of course, all reviews are subjective, including this one. Honestly, I think all horror fans should watch it. It really is brilliant in parts. That's a good enough endorsement for me. I will be taking it in anyway because it looks brilliant. So yeah, I will be taking that one in. Another thing I'll just go over here very quickly, because we're coming up to 20 minutes. I've still got a couple of bits I need to get through. I was on a group last week. Well, it appeared on my wall actually. I'm a member of a group called Melody 1971. It's basically posts about the movie Melody, starring Mark Lester, Jack Wilde and Tracy Hyde. And somebody had put on there, I just can't think why it's so terrible. Please tell me, because I just don't understand. I mean, it's his opinion. I completely respect that. It's not to everybody's taste. It's another of those movies that you couldn't make nowadays. It just wouldn't work. But that comment, it basically descended into a load of complete not a crap. Somebody commented, 50 plus years on, and this movie is still the best movie of its time. Regretfully, a lot of the cast are no longer with us. May they rest in peace. So good so far. Somebody replied, film, not movie, made in Britain. Okay. And he commented, yes, and I'm a British old age pensioner. I'm 70 years old and I've moved with the times, as the majority of persons on here are from outside the UK and call a film a movie. Perfectly reasonable. He couldn't leave it alone, could he? It's another Americanism. Americans invent or misspell words for stuff that already existed. Exists, by the way, if we're being picky. Example, herbs instead of herbs, or aluminum instead of aluminium. Okay. I come from the city moving pictures were first filmed. Moving spelled Mooving, you illiterate twat. I come from the city. Moving pictures were first filmed, and they were called films. It's not about moving with the times. Mooving. That's twice you've done that. No, it's about being able to have an opinion about things without dickheads like you jumping on them and tearing their opinions apart like some fucking forensic scientist. So he commented back, are you aware that this film was released in the USA under another name, Swolk? Looking at your profile picture, you probably were not even born in 1971 and probably have no idea on what life was like in the late 60s and 70s, hence your criticism of the American way of life. That should have been the end of it. But no, he had to fucking have another go. Yes, I was. Yes, I was. And yes, I've seen the film well, he put, yes, I've seen the film several times. I've seen the film several times. I'm so British. I am British, so know more about it than you. So there. I do not criticise American or USA way of life. Land of the free of all that. Land of the free and all that. Yeah, apart from towards this bloody old pensioner that you're having a go at. So I think he pretty much left it at that, which I would have done. And I thought, you know what, fuck off, not interested. Somebody else put, I think I'm going to watch that movie this week. He couldn't leave it alone, could he? It's a film, not a movie, made in Britain. How many more times? I'm sorry, but if ever we have anybody like that join this group, I give everybody full permission to verbally rip him to shreds. What a fucking wanker, what an absolute tit. I mean, what do you do with an argumentative idiot like him? I'm so happy this group doesn't have people like him as members. I really am. That's what makes me very grateful for the people that we do have here. We have banter, we have, little good-natured spats, but nothing like that. I couldn't cope with an argumentative dickhead like him. And who cares about whether the grammar's wrong or Americanisms? Who gives a shit? So, as I say, if anybody joins this group and starts doing that, please verbally knacker them up for me. Right, some bits to show off. One of the podcasts that I listen to, Pure Cinema, they do lists. I'm a great fan of that particular podcast. Listen to it every chance that I get. And they like to do movies released from a certain year, and they will each choose 5 movies from that year after naming their favourite year. My favourite year, I had 2, and I had a real struggle coming up with 2 years out of all the decades of movies that I consider to be my favourites. I basically landed on 1977. Now, I'm not going to mention, well, I will mention, but I won't talk about them. My 5 favourite movies from 1977, apart from Saturday Night Fever and Close Encounters, there you go, it's out of the way now. So I've picked 5 that I wouldn't normally have picked, but I thought, you know what, these were good movies for 1977. First one, The Gauntlet. This was pretty much a Dirty Harry movie, kind of. Clint plays a guy called, I believe, Ben Shockley, and he's entrusted with escorting a witness to a murder, to a trial, protecting her from people that want to kill her. Really, really good action movie. The last scene in this, where the bus is riddled with bullets, is just legendary. So that was a cracker from 1977. This was a TV series that I loved. I was talking about this the other week. Sweeney. This is the first Sweeney movie from 1977. John Thor and Dennis Waterman. This is how you make a British action movie and cop drama. Absolutely brilliant. You've got a host of other stars in this. Colin Welland, who is in Kes, Barry Foster, Diane Keane. A whole host of classic British actors in there. Next one. Hills Have Eyes. I didn't see this at the cinema. I was too young to see this. I'd have been about 15. But one of the guys that I worked with at Comet, remember them? I was a salesman there. One of the lads there had been to see it, and he said it's absolutely horrible. And he delighted in telling me about the scene where a budgerigar gets its head bitten off. I mean, I've seen it now, obviously, and obviously, sort of you come to the point where you think that's a Wes Craven film. Didn't know that. This was one of his early films. Really, really good. So yeah, that was a classic. Kentucky Fried Movie. Before Airplane, there was Kentucky Fried Movie, and this is just a series of sketches, adult sketches, American sketches that were absolutely amazing. The two standouts for me were what was it, one? A Fistful of Yen, which is basically a piss take of the Bruce Lee movies. This was brilliant. I remember when this came out, I was too young to get into it. I loved the poster outside the cinema. I would have loved to have got hold of that. And the final one from 1977, Day of the Animals. What a movie. Was released on a double bill with a movie called The Car, which you all know I love. This was the first double A feature that I went to see, which was over 14s only. And it was on a double bill, as I say, with The Car. Brilliant film. Haven't seen this for years. I really need to catch up with that one. Right, a few bits that I've bought, and then I'll sign off and let you get on with your day. Just bear with me. Oh God. We'll start with the magazines first. Had that picked up for me yesterday. Empire, which is the latest issue from May. The latest Yours Retro. This came through. You all know about this. One Night Rental. This is Rick Malin's. It's not his first film, actually. He's been in another one. He messaged me last night about it. I think it's The House on Mansfield Street or something, which I'm going to be taking a look at. Now, I will be doing a video review of this very shortly. Suffice to say, I loved it. Absolutely adored it. I enjoyed it way more than I thought I would, to be honest. But I'll tell you more about this when I actually do that review. It'll only be 5 or 6 minutes. It'll be quite a short one, but I'll definitely get the point across. I've already put a review on Letterboxd, but if you get the chance to catch this, it's a cracking movie, and it came with that, which is a little cardboard leaflet, all the cast and the crew. There's a leaflet there as well. Basically, it's part of the straight-to-video shop. They do. I think it's called the Video Shop. It's in Alfreton, and it was mostly filmed there. I will say this: I saw on the video some straight-to-video mugs, and I couldn't find them on the website. I really, really wanted to order one. I couldn't find them. They've got T-shirts and posters and all sorts, but I couldn't see these mugs. But they were on the film. I don't know whether they're actually sort of for sale. Even the bubble wrap it came in is cool. Just look at that, black. I'm so tempted to keep that. So there we go. Now then, next one. A cinema near you. You know how I love these movies. Love these books. These books on old cinemas. Somebody put a post on to my personal page saying that this was for sale in the St Giles Hospice shop, and I should get down there straight away and pick a copy up. I couldn't be asked to do that, so I went on Amazon, found it on there, and got it for £1 something. It's a wonderful book. I mean, I've had a flick through it. I don't think the Burton Odeon is mentioned in there, but pretty much every other cinema in the Midlands is mentioned in there, so we'll be having a look. Now then, this is one that Jason Kerr, our Ginger Ninja, was talking about. I couldn't resist it. I had to get it. After the World Ends. This is a book basically detailing like the history of dystopian future books, apocalyptic, basically after the apocalypse. You've got movies like Mad Max in here. What others have we got? Just to give you an idea of what we're in for here. A lot of these posters are Italian. The Last Warrior, Survival Zone. There's loads, but it's Threads is in there. It's a lavishly illustrated book. I was really, really pleased with this. Really pleased with it. There we go. What else we got? Land of Doom. Trying to find another good poster. I'll just have a quick. I'll do the flick through thing, but it never really works, as you know. But just give you an idea of what we got. I should do an overhead thing with this, really, like I should do with that Scala book that I've been banging on about for ages. But as you can see, it's really, really well illustrated. It's a handsome looking book. And there's another one that I want to get hold of, thanks to Scott. Thanks for this, Scott. VHS video covers. I think it's 264 pages of really, really nice video covers. I think it's about 26 quid. You got it, Scott, and you were basically showing it off, and I thought, I want that, I want that. So I will be ordering that at some point. So, right, that's it for today, folks. I'm keeping it under an hour because I think an hour is about right. Have a brilliant week. Thanks ever so much for joining me. If you've enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up, like, subscribe, all that sort of thing. I'll be back again around about the same time next week. Again, thank you very much for joining me, and I will talk to you all again soon. Have a brilliant Sunday. Take care. Ta-ra. Saturday.